The Sennheiser MKE 400 is a compact shotgun microphone that can be mounted on top of a DSLR or indeed be used alongside a mobile phone if you get the mobile kit, or if you have your own sort of means of having a mobile phone attached with a shotgun microphone. Now in this review, you're going to be seeing if it's actually worth it and giving you a breakdown of different sound quality tests. Now, it's worth bearing in mind that the shotgun microphone, the MKE 400, can be found for around £180 in the UK and around $200 in the US. Links are in the description below will take you to your localized Amazon store. Now, before proceeding with this review, if you do like what you see, I'd very much appreciate you subscribing if you haven't already, and of course hitting that bell notification if you want to be notified of the latest independent reviews from my channel. So to kick off this review, I'm going to talk about what you get in the box, and I should mention that the model on review is the non-mobile kit variant. The mobile kit one has a Manfrotto mini tripod and can be used as like a monopod, and it's got also some smartphone accessories, but that's not the one that's on review here. So in the model, on the sort of say base level model of the MKE 400, you'll find the microphone, a TRS to TRS coiled cable, and also a TRS to TRRS coiled cable. Now these cables can be used to be connected to a DSLR or indeed a mobile phone, so you have the option no matter if you go for the mobile kit or not. Elsewhere, you do have a furry windshield, often referred as a dead cat, and you've got a nice drawstring pouch, which I do quite like because it allows to take the microphone on the go wherever you are and not have to worry about it being damaged. Now moving swiftly on, let's talk about the microphone dimensions, and here it's 126 x 67 x 36 millimeters. So indeed it is pretty compact, and here you can see how it looks like on my Fujifilm X-T4. Now, other than that, of course, weight is very important. If you're going to be vlogging using this camera, you don't want something that's super heavy. And indeed, the microphone isn't. It weighs in at 93.5 grams, and that is without the cable. Now, moving on, we get onto the features of the microphone, and I'm really impressed with what Sennheiser have managed to achieve. Now, first off, it's worth bearing in mind that the microphone is powered, so therefore you're going to need two AAA batteries. They do come included in the box, by the way. Now, the batteries are rated to run for around 100 hours, which is pretty substantial. Now, I can't really attest to these claims because I haven't used the microphone for 100 hours or been clocking my time with it, but I will say that, well, from any of the claims that Sennheiser have made in terms of battery life in previous iterations of their products have been pretty accurate, so I'll be safe to assume that this will last around 100 hours. Now, give or take, it is worth bearing in mind that you cannot recharge the microphone directly from its casing. In other words, you're going to have to take the two AAA batteries out and charge them exterior. So in this respect, it's pretty self-explanatory, but maybe get yourself some extra batteries when you're on the go, and preferably rechargeable ones so you're not adding to any extra lithium ion waste. Now underneath the microphone there's a cold shoe mount with a 1/4-20 thread, which basically allows you to mount this in a variety of different scenarios, and as I mentioned, I mounted it on my Fujifilm X-T4 pretty easily. Now going from there, on the left hand side of the microphone, if you're looking at it straight on, shall we say, then what you'll see is that there is a plus and minus and a middle segment. Now this is to determine the gain, so it really depends in terms of what you use, and we'll go through the different gains and how they impact the overall sound quality in just a bit. And next to it you've also got a low cut filter if you so wish to use it. There is also a handy on and off button which also does illuminate in green. Now what I found quite interesting here is that you don't have to manually turn it on or off. Indeed, when you do connect it up to a source and the source is picking up, so for example the camera is in operation, it will automatically switch on, and indeed when you switch off the camera it will automatically switch off, which I find is a very handy feature and one that's definitely appreciated. And the small little green LED isn't too obstructive, it's not going to reflect too much either if you're going to have, let's say, mirror shots or whatever it is, and in this respect does give you a small indication as to if the microphone is actually running, so therefore if you do run out of battery you will know that the microphone is no longer picking up. Now it goes without saying that the microphone does have a mic output, and of course your camera or let's say your smartphone is going to need a mic input, and here the coiled cables are long enough, and of course they're coiled so therefore they can be stretched to a certain degree, and the blue look in my opinion gives it that kind of Sennheiser flair. It might have been nicer if they were just all black so that they don't really stand out when you're doing, let's say, panning shots or whatever like that, and you might have some reflections. But nevertheless, I have no issues whatsoever, and I do also like the fact that the 3.5mm jack that goes into the microphone has a locking mechanism, so therefore it's not going to be accidentally propped out of the microphone. And so with that out of the way, let's get on to the test of the microphone, and I apologise if there's some background noise. That's because the gardeners are doing their job. Now, in this respect, everything you've heard so far has come directly from my Zoon H1n recorder. It's placed on a tripod right now in front of my camera, and throughout this review we're going to be switching between the MKE 400, the Zoon H1n with the Shure MVL mic connected, so it's a lavalier microphone, and then also switching to the built-in microphone of the Fuji X-T4. This will give you an indication of how the microphones compare, and of course how the shotgun microphone is in comparison to, let's say, some other alternatives that you might consider. This will allow you to make your own informed purchasing decision. So now we're outside and I've got the Sennheiser microphone on its high gain mode. We'll be going down the gain levels, so just do bear that in mind, and I'll give a little warning towards the end so that you are aware that the levels are going to go back up, because the low volume, well, you might not be able to hear me that much. Now I'm about 1 meter away, and if I step another meter away, I'm about 2 meters away from the camera and the microphone. So again, everything you can hear right now is coming directly from the MKE 400. So now I'm about 1 meter away with the medium gain mode, and if I just step 1 meter back again, I'm 2 meters away. So hopefully you can hear the differences between the two level gain modes, the high and the medium, and now we're going to go to the low mode, which might be very, very faint. So now we are on the lowest gain mode, and I'm about 1 meter away. If I move back, I am now 2 meters away from the microphone, recording at the lowest gain mode. Now as I move back forwards, we're back about 1 meter away, and now we're going to increase the volume, going back onto the regular medium volume. So now we are back onto the medium gain level, which I find is the perfect median. And what I'm going to do is enable the low cut filter while continuing to speak, and hopefully you can hear that my voice sounds a little less bassy and therefore tries to emphasize the mid and high range a little bit more, and yet again re-enabling that mode, and hopefully you can again hear the differences between the low cut filter and my normal voice. And personally and subjectively, I actually prefer it in its normal level rather than having a low cut filter. So now we're again 1 meter away, and I'm using my Shure MVL mic, which is connected up to my Zoon H1n, and I've taken the MKE 400 off my Fujifilm X-T4 because we're going to switch to the built-in microphone now of the X-T4, and hopefully you can be able to hear a difference between my lavalier mic, the built-in microphone, and of course how it was before with the MKE 400. So now I'm going to step 2 meters away, and yet again still using the microphone from my Fujifilm X-T4, and now switching to my Shure MVL mic, so it gives you a kind of indication as how the microphones compare. So now we're doing more of a kind of vlog type, and everything you can hear is coming from the MKE 400, but the microphone is positioned towards my target rather than me facing the video. Of course, if I were to switch around and do kind of like a vlog, suddenly my voice becomes a lot clearer because the microphone is positioned towards me. Now, an easy fix for this, if you're going to be vlogging and you're going to be recording your subject, so in other words here the Audi e-tron GT, you can flip the microphone, which would now sound like this. So this allows you to still do your action shots, so to speak, or your product shots like you're doing now, and still present to camera by simply flipping the microphone towards you. And if you have a gimbal like I have, you just have to make sure it doesn't hit the gimbal as you're going on lower shots. So now we're going to go on a little bit more of a vlogging type of video where I am speaking to the camera and the microphone is positioned on top, and I'll flip between my Shure MVL mic. Make sure you check out for the annotations. So let me just talk to you randomly about the Audi e-tron GT that I've got on review over here. It's going to be reviewed on TotallyEV, so do check it up on your pop-up banner or in the description below or through the pinned comments. But it is an all-electric vehicle that outputs around 350 kilowatts of power, which equates to around 523 horsepower. That's from its 2 electric motors, and I had it tested from 0 to 60 miles an hour in 3.95 seconds, which is absolutely ridiculous. Now, from me rambling on and giving you some more information, it will also give you an indication as how the microphones compare when you're doing a type of vlog format. Now, while outside there wasn't too much wind, a way of me doing a controlled wind test is for me to sit out inside the Audi e-tron GT and ramp up the climate controls. I'm going to put that to maximum right now, and it's going to ramp up. And now you can hear a lot more wind noise that's coming through the microphone. Now I've moved on from the microphone to my Shure MVL mic to give you a kind of comparison. Now what I'm going to do is switch back to the MKE 400, and I'm now going to put the fluffy tool on top of it to give you an indication of how that sounds. So now we are back, but we are recording with the MKE 400 with the fluffy, or the dead cat as some might call. Again, I'm going to switch to my Shure MVL mic, so it gives you an indication of how the two compare. And now back to the fluffy. So again, you potentially might hear a little bit more of a reduced type of wind noise thanks to the fluffy tool that's included on top of the MKE 400. So hopefully you enjoyed some of that vlog content, and of course the detailed review which went along with it. Now, what is my thoughts on the Sennheiser MKE 400? Well, quite frankly, I'm left pretty impressed. I think it does exactly what it says and sets out to be. It's a compact, lightweight shotgun microphone. It's not trying to replicate a other microphone, and over here it also does really good in terms of providing a good overall sound quality. It picks out my voice pretty accurately and doesn't cut out the bass tones like some other microphones, and of course you can do that with the low pass filter. And also has got some few functionalities on the microphone itself which makes it very easy to use, be it for novices, which I would consider myself, or for those more advanced people out there that have got some complex setups. And finally, the accessories that you get with the microphone are definitely appreciated. It means that you can just get up and go as soon as you buy the microphone, be it the mobile kit or the variant that I had, the regular MKE 400. So as a result of all of this, I can't think of a better shotgun microphone at its price point, and as a result it gets my Best Buy award. Now of course that's my subjective opinion, so I'd be intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comments section below. If you've got any questions, of course, ask me down as well. And of course, if you do like this video, give it a like, subscribe and hit that bell notification, as it would be greatly appreciated. Alright, I've been Totally Dubbed, take care of yourselves and goodbye.